Denise Richards is so hot, I'd sleep with her. And the guy that is here, you guys have been wanting him here. He is here. We're going to talk to him. Is he misunderstood? I don't know. Matthew Atkinson is here. Bold Breakdown is next.
You're tuned in to AfterBuzz TV, the ESPN of TV talk. Now, let the buzz begin.
We're here, you guys. Hello, we're here. We're here. It's that time of the month, folks. That time of the month. We're here. Bold Breakdown, Bold Beautiful After Show. We are here, and we're going to talk all about the week that was in Los Angeles on Bold and Beautiful. I'm James Lott Jr., one of your hosts, and of course I do this with the lovely, talented, soulful Tami Goveia.
Aww, thank you. Hey, everyone.
And you know who's sitting next to her? You know, you guys out there say all kinds of stuff about this character, Thomas Forrester. And he plays him very well. And where I get scared sometimes. I was like, scared. But he's actually a really nice guy. Welcome, Matthew Atkinson.
I haven't scared you today, have I?
You
walk in the studio and you were like, oh no.
I was like, oh no, it's him. Oh my God,
Or
it's
the
him.
exit doors.
He's here. I'm like, hide your children. That's what I said.
Hide your children.
But thanks for being on the show.
Well, thank you for having me.
We're going to talk in a second. But first, the housekeeping, of course. You can follow us on IG and Twitter at The Bold Breakdown. Go ahead. Now, if we get to 200 likes, because we just started doing this, so 200 follows, I'm going to give away a prize. So get us there. We're getting there, so get us there. So that's The Bold Breakdown on IG and Twitter. And of course, you can find this show on AfterBuzz TV Dramas under the Bold and Beautiful After Show. And you can follow that on iTunes, SoundCloud, and then YouTube. Yeah, you can find all those places. Go ahead and like, subscribe, and comment. We have other sub-shows, too, of course, today. Tami Goveia joins her cohorts for Edition Days right after us. And then Y&R with Rachel happens right after that. And then at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, it's me, bitches. I am back with GH Report. It's our 4-year anniversary. Being at AfterBuzz TV, I created that show 4 years ago, and so I'm joining Frank and Carla to talk about why I'm so wonderful. No, just kidding. Talk about why the show is great, and I have a little surprise for you on that show too. And we're going to talk about what happened in Port Charles. A lot of things happened there too. So it's a great big soap block here on AfterBuzz TV. Grab a drink, get some food, whatever, and just sit down and relax for like the next 4 or 5 hours. That's what we're going to do there. And I also want to give a shout out, birthday weekend stuff. Courtney Hope's man,
Yay!
Chad Duell, it's his birthday this weekend. And you know him as Michael Corinthos on General Hospital. It's his birthday. And the Queen, my buddy, Miss Michelle Stafford, it's her birthday yesterday too. And I talked to her. And I wish happy birthday to Miss Michelle Stafford, who plays Phyllis on Y&R again. And she's just one of the lovely people in the world. So I love you. I'm going to say that. So welcome, you guys. I think it's everything. Is that everything? Is everything? I feel like Tony on Decent Days. Like, is that everything?
Yeah.
Like everything?
Church announcements.
Church
We're
announcements.
good.
Is that
All
everything? So we're here. So, okay. Now, you know, your character has drove most of the story for the last, like, month or so.
Yeah, it's awesome, isn't it?
It is.
But it must be
It's fun.
But it must be interesting for an actor to come onto the show and, like, this doesn't always happen the way they decided to set up and write it.
No, I wasn't exactly sure what was going to happen, but I kind of figured that I would come in and just kind of pick up where the character left off, in a way, and had no idea what was in store for me at all.
We hear
I'm
that
sure.
so often from actors
Yes.
who come onto the show.
Yeah.
Like, had no idea what was in store, especially Annika.
Oh, yeah.
She said, I had no
Yes.
idea.
I was so fortunate to be able to, because as soon as I got there, I tested with Annika. It was like when they stuck us together in a lot of scenes right off the bat. So that was awesome because she had just gone through it.
Yes.
Taking
know
over a
that you
character
were
that was
tested.
iconic
That's
and going
Yeah.
thrown into the wolves' den.
Wow.
And
Yeah.
and so having her there and being able to just like talk about it and understand what she went through. I mean, that was a privilege. It was awesome to be able to do that.
Commiserate a little.
Yeah. Commiserate.
And you were thrown into, I mean, you're talking all these great, like Torsten Kay and Captain Kelly Lang.
Yes.
I mean, you were thrown into this acting community that's just been it's so amazing.
It was awesome though. I mean, it's like a family there. So, I mean, my first day, I mean, it's like the worst first day you could possibly imagine as an actor, because you come in, it's like this character that's been here for so long, everybody has expectations, and then also, my first scenes are me walking in front of everyone.
That's
The
right.
entire family.
That's right.
And then it's like, well, okay, so the mother of my child just died, and I'm coming back, and it's basically everyone is in turmoil inside, and I'm dealing with all this, and I'm crying in front of them, and
yes.
and like and on the first day, that's my first day. Hello, everyone, and
No
so
pressure.
Yes.
yeah, right. But you know, hopefully it's worked out so far.
Oh.
Everyone's been so great on that set. All the actors have been incredible. So it feels like family. It doesn't feel like I don't feel that nervous going and working with them because they're all so accepting and they just want to do really good work and enjoy the process.
Well, I met many of your colleagues. Some of them have been on the show, and they are very nice. The show community is a lot of nice people.
Yeah.
There are really a lot of nice people who just want to do the work.
Yeah.
Who really just want to do a good job and give you fans some good story and some good acting,
And
right?
they're so thankful. They're so
Yeah.
humble
Yeah.
and grateful for everything.
It's so cool. I mean,
Yeah.
I just met with Brad Bell, and I told him, I had to tell him in person. I think I've told him probably 50 times at this point, but it's like, you know, it starts at the top and it filters down to the bottom. But I don't think that there's a bad egg. I mean, there's not one person in production, whether it's the crew or the actors or the producers. No one, the writing staff, no one's really. Just a person you don't want to be around. Everyone is someone that you enjoy spending time with.
Well, give a shout out to Eva, who got us you.
Yes.
We love her. We love her. She usually comes and hangs out with us, but it's Emmy stuff going on this weekend.
Yeah.
But yeah,
She's too cool for school.
She is. She's a little too busy. But no, but you're right. Everyone is just from the top down is good. And I just want to say the fans are saying hello. They are in here.
What's up, guys?
They're all saying he's here. They're all saying hi. Kenneth Clark says, Matthew, you're doing such a great job playing Tom. It's been a fan since you played Austin on Y&R. So you were across the hall. So you were across the hall for a minute playing Austin. I remember that.
Yeah, that was fun.
And that was fun. So you did that, and we'll put that in a second too. But everybody's just saying yes. People are saying, everybody's saying in here you have chemistry with Ridge, just that you guys are real father and son chemistry.
I think so. I mean, honestly, it's not. And it's kind of weird. You never know. I mean, these people are playing your siblings or your father, your mother. Right. When you meet them, sometimes when you work with them, it's not that easy.
Yeah.
You kind of have to develop it or try and make it work. And with Torsten, it's just easy.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, he's just got this. I don't know if we're necessarily a lot alike, but our tendencies are similar in a lot of ways.
So?
Yeah, like I love giving people shit. Like that's one of my favorite things to do.
I love it too.
And he loves that. He does that all the time. And growing up. Okay, so I was a Boy Scout, and we as a troop with many points, everyone thought that we were going to kill each other because all we did was insult each other and give each other crap. But that's a way of love, like that where I come from, and with us and my friend groups, that was it. And so I feel like maybe that is with him. I mean, he was. I don't want to necessarily say what he said, but when he picked up the phone with his brother the other day, it's like the way that they talk to each other is exactly like I talk to my friends back home. So it's like I feel like that there's for some reason some instinctual camaraderie there, and he kind of does feel like a father figure. I mean, he's nothing like my dad. Right. I love my dad, but it was easy to just morph into this role.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But no, you guys do have chemistry. You do. And we were talking, one of the scenes you did recently, I was like, so that's why I said I felt kind of sorry for you.
Which one?
All right, so the one that we'll talk about now.
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay,
break it down.
Yeah, break it down. The one that I liked was when
you finally felt like Thomas wasn't just a jerk.
Yes.
Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Nope.
I said no.
She
I said yes. No. I said
no.
yes. No, because when he was telling me he was disappointed in you, when he realized the severity of you,
right,
and he was talking to you, and you were sitting in that bed. I mean, you're acting. That's your Emmy reel right there. I'm just telling you right now.
Okay.
I'm just telling you. I would tell all the actors when I tell them.
Okay.
And you started to cry and kind of quiver like a child hearing his father tell him, "You're bad. You're bad. I can't believe you did this. You did this." And you were trying to get your father's approval. Like, you have to believe me. Like, I was like, that scene was the bomb. I just couldn't believe it. I remember we texted. I texted. And I couldn't believe it.
Yeah. There's so many people out there that I feel like that know that feeling of just wanting their parents' approval.
Sure.
Yes.
And I know so many people that never got their parents' approval. It could have been multiple reasons. Maybe they weren't there, or maybe they just didn't treat them right, or maybe it didn't even occur to their parents that they felt this way. And I think a lot of people struggle with that, and that's something that it just tugs deep down at who you are as a person.
Is that what you were feeling during those scenes was his disappointment, or what was so emotional?
Yeah,
for
I
you?
mean, doing the work, this guy, Thomas, is like, his father, he feels like his father just left, and so he felt less than his entire life. And I mean, there's a million things that happen to Thomas early on, but I feel like that was a major turning point for who he was psychologically. And so even no matter what he does in his life, I think that there's a part of him that just really wants Ridge to approve of him and want him to succeed and be there for him. And his entire life, he's always felt like he hasn't. He's left him, and they were less than. He went to Brooke, and his mother was left behind, his sisters left behind, and he felt abandoned. And I think that now he's an adult, and he understands that, his father wasn't intentionally doing that, but it doesn't take away the psychological effects of what he went through as a child. So, like, him sitting there and his father looking at him like he's just scum of the earth, and he's like, my entire life all I've wanted is your approval, and all I've gotten is the opposite.
Scenes are incredible. My brother JR and I always talked about this. We always wondered, as longtime soap viewers, what would happen to the soap kids when they grow up. All the things that went on with the parents, and they're sleeping around, marrying each other, marrying brothers and cousins. We always thought, wouldn't it be interesting to find out the repercussions for real when they become adults?
I think you're seeing it.
I'm seeing it. I'm trying to say that. I think Steffi's brought that up a few times. Like, you were seeing, Rich had two families.
Yeah.
And the Taylor family is always kind of kept getting left.
Right.
Brooke was the love of his life, so to speak. That was the whole big thing.
Yeah, but that's not how Thomas sees it, obviously.
Yeah.
That's not how Steffi saw it.
Right.
So that whole family is, and I think they're tight-knit in a lot of ways.
Yes.
And then they have this connection that they maybe wouldn't have had if Ridge had stayed around. And they have, because they went through, when you go through tragedy with someone else, it bonds you, whether you like it or not. And so I think that they all have that regardless of what happens to them in their lives. I think that, like, especially Thomas and Steffi, those two.
I'm so glad you brought that up.
Yeah, because my brother up in here, go ahead. It's my brother up here too.
So glad, because the two scenes, the two entrances by Jacqueline McGinnis Wood.
Yes, the ball.
The first one, she walks into your room, but it's from her POV, so we don't know who's walking into the room. And there's like 500 people going through my brain, like, oh my God, who's walking in? And I wasn't expecting Steffi.
Yeah.
But I was waiting for that moment because I think that hurt between sister and brother cuts even more deeply than father and son.
And you didn't mean to. That was only you were never against Steffi. You didn't want to hurt Steffi anyway.
None of this was intentional.
Right. But the sister thing, like, you're thinking, I don't want to hurt her. That's my sister.
Just the opposite. I feel like that in his own screwed up way at the time. One of the main reasons that he did was, I don't want to rip away this family that you're building, that you've wanted for a long time. Liam's there. You got your family in front of you. You've got two children that you love immensely, and I'm not going to destroy that. And I think that that's part of what Thomas was thinking at the time. And obviously taking a step back, you see that that's not the right move. But the reality is that he wasn't taking a step back. He was going down deeper and deeper in this rabbit hole.
Yeah, and about those scenes, like somebody mentioned here, it's the Steffi and Ridge, Steffi and Thomas scenes that were like the bomb. Like they did hurt.
There was just something about those scenes with the two of you.
Yeah, I know.
That were it just broke your heart.
Yeah, it
really did.
It did.
Well, I think that after what he just went through with his father, then his sister comes in, and the same thing.
The timing.
And then it's like the only person that was there by my side through everything we went through. Like the person that he had wanted to accept him his entire life has just basically what feels like not disowned him, because he did say, I'm going to be there for you. Yeah. But it's like, that hurt of the way he looked at Thomas. And then right after that, having your sister, who was, for better or worse, that was their camaraderie through what they went through growing up. They have a bond that he feels like can never be broken, and he wants to be her older brother and protect her. and he's destroyed that.
Yeah.
When she said, "I will never forgive you because of the children,"
Yeah.
I wasn't expecting that.
Yeah.
So
I
just
was
wrote that too.
expecting her anger and her
Yes.
disappointment, but I was thinking in time she'll come out the other side. So for her to break like that,
Yeah.
that was hard.
Someone in the chat room just wrote that, saying that they bawled their eyes out when she said,
Yeah.
you are not going to be in her life or baby Beth's life or anybody's. You're not going to be anybody's life. That she's like, that's it.
Because it really, for the first time,
Yeah.
I mean, going back to, did I ever have moments of feeling sorry for Thomas? When she said that, for a moment,
See, for a moment,
moment,
for a moment,
I felt the isolation
yes.
of Thomas. But I mean, like you said, Ridge is not abandoning him.
So funny.
But it's true.
I feel the isolation of Thomas. I didn't feel bad for him.
No, I don't
still
feel
go to
bad
hell.
for you.
But
Consequences,
I saw
that's
that
all
he
I
was
have to
feeling
say.
bad, and that's fine.
You know, tough cookie.
A tough cookie.
Tough cookie. You're going to have to
at some
earn
point,
it. You're
at
going
some
to have to
point in
earn
the
the
next
trust.
30 or so minutes, we're going to dig deep and find psychologically where we can connect you and Thomas Forster and try and find some similarity where you can go, oh, okay, maybe I understand.
Not going to happen.
But I'm there for you, Matthew, because I do feel sorry a little bit. I'm like, wait a minute. Like, he just was in love with Hope.
That's not love.
Hey.
It's the love that he learned.
Okay, I agree.
See?
I 100% agree.
Mm-hmm.
The reality is that I don't think that Thomas Forster was in love, like the love of his life was Hope. I don't think that that's true. I think that he saw a future that he saw a way to create something that he was denied in his childhood, which is a family, a loving family, and he had lost that because he's trying to make it work with Caroline,
right.
even though it wasn't really working. He tried to make it work as best as it could because of Douglas. Yeah. And then he's put in a situation where, and in the beginning, he wasn't keeping secrets. No. He wasn't doing anything. It was just that she was a beautiful mother to his child. She was fulfilling that role, and I think that he saw that and saw a family and fell in love with her for that reason, not because of this. It's not some massive romance where they built that connection together. It was the love was formed through the family being together and her being a mother.
We were having that discussion earlier, talking about how this storyline, and we brought up the word being so polarizing for fans and just in general. Sure. And I'd said to James, when Bill was going through that whole manipulation thing of his kids, with he and Steffi sleeping together, that was a huge, with fans, that was huge. But for some reason, we were thinking this storyline cuts even deeper than that, and it's because of the kids. Yeah, it's because of little Henry Joseph Samir.
Oh my goodness!
Who is this child?
It's a star. He's a star.
He's awesome.
He's a star. He's a star. I mean, seriously. I mean, he's not even a child actor. I mean, he's an actor. Like, he holds his own with scenes with you. He holds his own.
He's a sweetheart. He's just we hit it off from day one. He just is so much fun, and he's so cute. I mean, obviously, you watch him say anything, and it's adorable.
Yes.
But what's funny is it's like in the beginning when we started shooting, I mean, obviously this is a new environment, and if I was his age, I wouldn't have been able to do, say, 3 lines and memorize them. Right. But in the beginning, he had a little bit of trouble. It was tough, especially when they gave him scenes where it's like 3-page long scenes with me and him, and it's like, how's he supposed to memorize all that? And now he's like, he'll be like, look, that's not your line.
Oh no.
Your line is this.
Oh
I'm like,
no.
I was feeding you your lines like 3 months ago. Give me a break, man. No, he's great. He's awesome.
Now, the one thing I know Tami and I both want to know, because as an actor, you had scenes that were probably delicious to play, but how, behind the scenes, how gingerly were you towards the scenes where you were kind of being mean to this little kid, to Douglas?
Oh, yeah.
Some of those scenes were scary for us as viewers.
The manipulation factor was really, it was hard to watch as a viewer.
It was a little hard to watch. Because usually you don't go that direction. So how was that for you as an actor, kind of doing that?
Awful. Okay. Well, as me, it was awful. It was so tough. I mean, it took a lot of work, and it took getting into a I mean, I don't know how other actors work. I see a lot of other actors and they work in certain ways, and some are able to do things like that. I don't think without going to the lengths that I have to go to, because I have to be, the thought process has to be there. And for me to have the thought process that he had in those scenes, Thomas towards Douglas, you have to be in a bad head place.
Yes.
And then after every single scene that they would yell cut, it was like I immediately just had to grab him and be like, I love you.
Good.
You know I love you, right?
Yes,
like
okay.
and he was fine. He didn't
you
care at all.
Yeah, but you missed the line.
Right.
Yeah, but you missed the line, Dad.
Yeah, exactly right. Exactly. He's like, he's fine. We're all worried.
After every scene, I was like, I had to tell him, like, this is not me. You know, this is not me. I'm like, you're a child. I don't know.
Right.
I was a kid.
Right.
There's got to be some psychological effects to that.
Right.
And but you know, there was one scene, I think it was toward the end of those that day, and it was with me and him, and I think it was when Thomas kind of has a realization.
Yes, that's a great scene too.
You're
At the
at
house,
the
the
friend's
friend's
apartment.
apartment.
Vinny's apartment,
Yes.
where Douglas kind of says, you're not my dad anymore. You're not the person that I know as my father, and Thomas has this turning around thing, and he kind of realizes what the hell he's doing. He kind of has a moment of clarity.
Yes.
He's been fogged up. He's been seeing things through a completely different lens, and it's like he took a step back and was able to actually look at things objectively and see himself. And he kind of breaks a little bit and breaks down with his son and tries to tell him,
"You're my best friend.
I'm sorry."
Yeah, you did.
In the best way that he could.
Yeah.
And at the end of that scene, they yelled, cut, and it was so funny because I was like, I've just done like 8 scenes where I'm yelling at him, and then he just turns to me, he was like, "That was really good. That was a good
Oh
scene."
my living word!
You did a great job.
I love him.
I'm like, thanks, man. Like broken emotionally.
Oh my God.
Like, I've been yelling at you. I love you, but I've been doing this. It's terrible, and you're just like, yeah, cool, okay. Yeah, that was good. That was really good.
Kids are hilarious.
I love
Kids
it.
are hilarious.
Moving on.
But no, that scene was another scene where I felt a little Thomas getting there, the old Thomas was coming through there a little bit, that he realized he went a little too far, because those scenes were scary. And I said, as a person who watches TV and soaps, you don't see that very often.
Right.
The adversarial thing between a kid and a parent.
Absolutely.
Literally, it was adversaries for a while there.
And I felt that moment of danger.
Yeah.
Because I didn't know if he would ever strike
Yes.
Douglas.
Yeah.
I was hoping the storyline wouldn't go there.
Yeah.
But it was good enough to plant the doubt.
Right.
I didn't know how far it was going to go.
Yeah, how far Thomas was going to go.
Yeah.
Because you were pissed. You were pissed. Thomas was pissed.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And well, the interesting thing about those scenes specifically and what happened with the character there is, like, I mean, he goes through this crazy wormhole, and he gets caught in this web of thought processes. It isn't Thomas Forrester. It's not the guy. Like, it's not who he is.
Right.
But he keeps going down this path and circling and circling and circling. And I think it's like it kind of shines a little bit of a light on your mental health, and I think that this isn't some person that everyone just can hate. I think this is a person that everyone can see themselves in. I don't think Thomas Forrester is he's not an evil psychopath. And so for him to end up at this place, like, it had to start from somewhere. And I think that there's something to see, hopefully. There's some sort of empathy that you can see.
Talk to Brooke about this.
Talk to Brooke about...
Try to convince Brooke about the empathy aspect of things.
Okay. Let's talk to Brooke about... was Thomas Forrester actually Ridge's son? And maybe I just want Ridge for myself, and maybe she's done a little bit of manipulation herself back in the day. Maybe
the slut from the valley.
Yeah,
slut from the valley.
I mean, I think that Brooke, honestly, if anyone can understand, Brooke could understand. She could put herself in the shoes. She's been in the position of not been everyone on the show at some point. I mean, it's like, objectively looking at it, you see Bill coming in.
Oh, right.
I know.
And giving Thomas crap, and it's like, dude, like 2 years ago, just like, Like blew up a bill. Like what are you doing? You're telling me I'm a bad guy? Come on.
That's hilarious. That's hilarious.
Anyway, but I think that, like I said, I think that all these people, especially these characters, can see if they have the empathy and they actually connect the dots, they can see how they could end up going down that path. Just like Flo, like Tom, and I think that was an interesting turn of events. I love those scenes where Thomas finds out from Flo, and she actually, breaks and tells him, and he sees himself in her immediately. And I thought that was really cool. It was like a moment of clarity for Thomas, and then that's what started. But then it was like right after that is when he zeroed in on something that was wrong and just kept going down the path of
yeah, because the whole thing is you didn't take the baby. You didn't it was that part. But it's like
I found out like a month. It was like they had known for four or five, 6 months, something like that, and Thomas knew for like the last month.
Yeah.
And I mean, a lot happened in the last month.
He made up for lost time.
He made up for lost time. He did some terrible thing, but I'm not denying that. But obviously, I think that like when he saw Flo and he immediately saw, and he said in this scene, you're not a bad person. You thought you were put in what felt like an impossible situation, I think was the line. And I think that's where after that Thomas starts spiraling, but it's like Thomas had the empathy in that moment, and then his first inclination was to go to his sister and tell her, right?
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
Yes.
And then of course
you saw them on the couch. You saw them on the couch with 2 kids and a big family, and you were like, I can't do it.
He couldn't do it. He couldn't rip the child
away.
He couldn't do it, Tami. He couldn't do it. And then where did he go? Where did he go after that? Tami? Where did he go after?
Where did he go after you left Steffi?
Straight after Steffi's, when he decided he couldn't take that baby away from him right then. He leaves there, and where does he go?
Go to Hope, don't you?
Go straight to Hope.
Yep.
And didn't tell her either.
What does Hope say to him in the moment? Like, try to have some empathy here. Hold on. So I'm trying to get her on my side.
I blocked it out.
Okay. So he goes to Steffi. He tries to tell her. Yes. If you remember, he's literally in the middle of telling her. Gets interrupted by Liam.
Yoda says there is no try, only do.
Not denying that, but I am saying that people make bad, flawed decisions. Okay. So he goes to Steffi. He tries to tell her like 15 times.
Yes, I remember that.
Liam comes in and throws a hissy fit, and then he finds out that Liam's living there, and he's like, okay, she has the family that they've always wanted, and he leaves there and he goes straight to Hope, and Hope tells him that he's been trying since he got back to town to kind of see Hope as possibly being the mother for his child. She says she's willing to try it.
Yep.
And then he's stuck in this predicament. He makes a bad decision, obviously. But I think that you could see that even though he made a bad decision, that doesn't make him this horrible human being. I think that he could still be redeemed.
Oh, he can be redeemed.
Maybe.
Maybe with medication.
Medication.
Okay.
And some therapy.
I don't disagree.
Here's my concern, though.
Maybe start with some not quite medication, but maybe some psychological help, going in, psychological sessions, therapy.
With your mom.
Maybe first before we drug him up. Let's do that first and see if he can move forward. But yes.
It happened this week with Flo.
Yeah.
And it's happening now with Thomas about the lack of consequences.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't want to see Flo in jail.
Right, of course, right.
Regardless of what happened.
Okay.
But there are consequences to be paid. And so I'm seeing no consequences for Thomas right now.
So you want revenge. That's what it is. It's about revenge.
I want for every action, I don't know if Thomas isn't going to serve time.
Okay.
If he's not going to go to jail. Okay. Then how is he because this is a pattern for Thomas.
Yeah.
He gets into a spot. He's really sorry, and I believe Thomas is sorry. It's not like I don't believe that. Yeah. But then there's no learning. He doesn't learn from anything. So what's going to happen?
To be fair, though,
Yes.
he did get pushed off like 100
He wasn't. It was an accident.
It's an accident.
It was clearly an accident. If I were the mother seeing you with my daughter at the edge of a cliff, I'd be all, get out of my daughter's face. I would have done the exact same thing. Not intentionally pushed you over the edge, but I would have said, get away from my daughter. And if it happened to make you fall over the cliff.
That's not an accident, though. that's a self-defense plea, but that's not an accident.
It wasn't intentional.
She intentionally pushed him.
Yes, but not off the cliff.
Well, okay.
It happened to be off the cliff.
You were near a cliff.
She did push him.
Intentionally punch Liam in the face, and then he hits his head and dies because he hits his head on the desk. If that had happened, is it my fault that he died?
Well, yeah.
Should I pay consequences for that? Then Brooke should pay consequences for pushing me off the cliff. It's not my intention that his head hit the desk. I just meant to punch him in the face.
See, now you're trying to get us to go down this spiral rabbit hole where Thomas is rabbit.
I don't think that's true. I'm trying to get you on my side.
I love it. I love it. I love it.
One day.
I'm on your side.
Okay.
So I think, you know, Brooke I like that Mama Brooke is trying to protect her dad, but I don't think she should take Douglas away from you. That's a whole other story. I'm like, don't take Douglas away from me. I don't think that's a consequence. I mean,
yeah, that's not even.
It's a little too much.
That's not even. Brooke's going on. Brooke's kind of spiraling right now.
She's kind of spiraling. She's on a war path.
To be fair, most daughters, regardless of how much they would like that their mothers care about them this much, would be like, yeah, I want my mom this involved in my life.
That part's true.
And then she is definitely spiraling right now.
Yes.
I mean, I think, you know, the idea of trying to take Thomas's son away from him. I mean, legally, you got a big war to fight there. That's not going to be easy.
She can't really do it. I don't think.
She can prove that Douglas was in danger.
I guess she could.
Yeah.
How?
Because Thomas threatened. Thomas threatened.
Court is in session.
Yes,
Thomas threatened him a number of times.
He did a couple times. He did.
Okay, prove
and
that.
And the whole ghost thing.
That's what I'm saying.
Oh my God!
I'm not saying you're right. I'm not wrong.
Yeah.
But like proving the scenes that you saw between Thomas and Douglas, no one else saw. There's no recording of that. No one else. So the reality is that all you have is that he took what his son said he wanted, and then kind of finangled things a little bit. You know, like Douglas did draw drawings to say I love hope and whatnot. Yeah. Thomas, you know, did some of his own to amplify the effect. And sure, that seems wrong, but it's also not. I mean, that's not a reason to take a son away from a father. So that's all you really have.
You know the problem with the lack of proof, because that also bleeds into the Emma story.
Yeah, I'm gonna see that.
There's no proof either.
No, there isn't.
Right.
The fact of the matter is, because of those circumstances, you have a woman who ended up dead at the bottom of a ravine.
Yeah.
So this lack of proof.
That's an interesting. Yeah.
It's true.
Yeah.
Right. No, it's interesting.
That's an interesting philosophical argument of whether. How much at fault is Thomas for Emma's death? She was, you know, it was her emotional state and her lack of paying attention that is the reason she was texting.
She was. I said the same thing. She was texting.
But that started with Thomas threatening her and then following her.
It's the chain of events.
Right. So what you know, is it Thomas's fault that she died? Should he take fault for that? Should he be thrown in jail for that?
But see, it's also a weird thing because she found out, and you guys, not just you, but she saw that, you know, Xander knew, and Zoe. Mm-hmm. So everybody's kind of at fault in a way for her death. Everybody played, like you say, it's a domino effect. Everybody played a role in it, kind of, right? I guess.
By omission, yeah.
Yeah, it's not just Thomas. You can't really give it all on him. It's like, well, they all kind of did. No one wanted to tell her.
Thomas was
drunk.
He was the ringleader, though.
This guy.
He was the ringleader, clearly.
Yes.
You cannot do this, and this, or else there will be consequences.
Yeah.
So.
Right. But again, Thomas wasn't trying to kill Emma.
No. I don't. There's no part of me that prepped it that way. I mean,
but he stood there at the top and looked down
that was
and
sinister
looked
looking.
pleased.
You did kind of look like you were happy.
Right.
You had just kind of a, well, that worked out.
It did look like that, kind of. It did look like that. It worked out.
Oh, my living word.
Yeah, on a side note, though, I want to talk about the ghost things. We joked about it with Annika. So how the ghost graphic and everything.
Little ghost guy.
Oh, yeah.
We couldn't stop laughing. And it was supposed to be scary, but we could all, I think everybody collectively laughed. Any thoughts on that? When you saw it, did you see it actually on TV? Did you see it? On TV, we all chuckled. Even Annika said she chuckled.
He was so cute.
He was cute. He was a cute ghost.
Little Casper.
How long have I been on the show now? Am I gonna get fired tomorrow?
Don't say anything when you get fired. Don't say anything when you get fired.
Here's the thing. So I will jump to defense here first, and then I'll tell you what I think.
Yes.
The first defense is the same defense that I have for anyone in daytime, no matter what their job is, and that is that there's a very short amount of time to shoot, to write, shoot, edit, and finalize. Whether it's a 30-minute or full hour show, it is
every day.
We're shooting 2 episodes a day.
Wow.
And on Young and the Restless, they're shooting a little over 1 episode a day, which is an hour long.
Yeah.
And that's a lot of material. I mean, for an hour and a half film, it usually takes how long? 3 months.
I know, right.
But with months and months of prep and months and months of editing.
They have the ghost.
Oh, there it is. Yeah. There he is, Casper.
Casper. He's okay.
Yeah. So at the end of the day, that's what I'm gonna say is that I mean I don't know what it could have looked like. I'm not gonna it's not my job, and I could probably never do that with a computer. I don't know.
I know I couldn't.
I'd take a lot of training because I've never done it. But the reality is that so that's my defense for it. But if I wish it had been a little scarier.
Yeah, man, that's what we thought. So it was cute. It was a cute ghost.
It was a cute ghost.
But I think as a child, that would be scary for any child.
I don't.
You don't think so?
I don't know.
Yeah, no,
not even?
If I saw that in my room when I was a child, I'd have been like, what? What is going on right now? Like, I wouldn't actually be. I don't think I'd be fooled at his age. And Henry, he would never be fooled.
No, Henry, absolutely
He's not getting fooled. It's like, that's not a ghost, guys. We need a ghost.
Cut.
Now, here's what's funny. People are saying in the chat room stuff, they do see chemistry between you and Hope, though.
Oh, no, I'm not saying that there's...
Which is funny. After all of this, there are folks who want you guys actually to kind of still end up together.
Oh, no, I'm not saying that it couldn't. I mean, it's, especially in the world of daytime, anything can happen.
Never say never.
Never say
never.
Yeah.
But I do think, you just do still have... Okay, so let's just... Take a peek. One thing that I think that hopefully will help her with Thomas a little bit. Let's put an objective view on this.
Yes.
How many men are around in this group of people that they know? Okay. How many men are there who are determined, committed, and are willing to actually stick with one woman and not just flail back and forth between whoever wants them at that moment? I mean...
Wyatt, they all do it. They all flim-flam back and forth.
Exactly.
Right.
And Thomas is a committed man who sticks with something he chooses, and I think that starts from with his childhood.
Yeah,
he doesn't want to be his father going off to another woman and leaving his family. If he has a family, he's committed and he's there. I think there's something to be said for that. And I think that Hope, given this is horrible right now, but objectively, there's something that I think is much more impressive about that with what she's dealt with. If she was leaving Liam, she would want a man like that. Because Liam is a guy who is just like, oh, yeah, I'll be with you, Steffi. Oh, great. Oh, no, I'm going to get over you with you. Hope. Okay, great.
And now Wyatt's starting to do that.
And Wyatt's doing the same thing now, too, because this week him and Sally are making out.
They have the same father.
they did, $1 bill. And, of course, people want you and Sally together, even though you weren't with her, but Pierce Forday's character was with Sally. They want you and Sally together.
I think that Thomas and Sally's previous relationship was probably the most significant romantic relationship that Thomas has ever had.
I agree.
I think he genuinely loves Sally, and I think they're a great match.
I
think they are as great of a match as as awful of a match as they are, because in a way they're both alphas.
I was just gonna say fire and fire.
Yeah. I mean, there would be a lot of arguments, there would be a lot of disagreements, there would be a lot of fights, but I think at the end of the day, I think they genuinely really love each other, or loved each other in the past, and so I think that they're great. I think they're a great pairing, and I love Courtney too. I've known her, for a while. I was there with them for Chad's birthday yesterday.
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
We went to Disneyland.
You did? Was it a million degrees?
It was a million degrees.
Oh my God, I can just imagine.
It was really hot. Yeah. And it was also like, I mean, you can't go to Disneyland and not eat all the
churros
food.
And
What's the first thing we had? We walked in, we had churros.
Yeah, exactly.
Had to get a churro.
Right.
Yeah. So like today, I'm actually in a food coma. That's my problem. I'm still like, ugh, because I ate so much of pasta and pizza and hot dogs.
You walked it off, right? While you were walking.
Oh yeah, you are walking a lot, so it does make you feel better about all those, bad decisions. But that was a lot of fun though, and I love Courtney to death. So if we ever had a chance to work together, more one-on-one like Thomas and Sally, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, because originally when you're right about Thomas, because Thomas wanted to be with Caroline, and remember everybody, there was a whole Caroline Ridge thing and Thomas thing that happened.
Yep.
I mean, he wanted Caroline, he wanted to be with her, and I was just thinking, you want to be with her. You are kind of a one-man woman.
Yeah.
One woman man.
One woman man.
Woman man. Thank you. Wrong show.
One man woman.
One man boy. A one-man woman. But so you are actually Thomas is. Okay, that's kind of interesting, Tami. It's interesting. I didn't think about that. Yeah.
Don't you want a strong, committed man who's there for you and loves you
and not obsessed about me? This commitment of yours for Hope comes from an obsessive place.
I think he's obsessive about having a mother for his child. I don't think that he's actually obsessed with Hope.
Okay.
That's how I saw it. I don't think Thomas is that person. I don't think that.
I remember when the storyline first started, we were having that discussion of why is he so into Hope? Like, when did this start?
Right. So you're right. It's not really about Hope then. In a way, it's not really about that. What she represents.
No. And that goes back to your saying that the focus is really about the family.
The family.
I honestly believe that if Thomas had come back to town and saw Amelia, the nanny, being an amazing mother, he may have tried to, like, he was in such an awful. I mean, think about do you have any children?
No.
Okay.
Well, for
I have 2 daughters and 3 grandchildren.
Okay. So, are you a single dad?
Well, no, they have mothers.
Okay. So, but if they didn't, if that was taken away from them, how much harder it would be, not just on you, but how much harder it would be on them.
I agree.
And all you would want to do is to bring some other presence in their lives that could help stabilize them.
I believe that.
Absolutely. And I think I think that's where Thomas's head was at. And after, I mean, she died. It's not as if she left, she just left and ran away. It's like she died. So he's mourning her loss. He doesn't know how to deal with it. He's being a single dad. All he wants is to create a family like he never had as a child, and everything's being ripped away from him. So he does what he knows how to do, which is focus on things and get things done, which is, I think, one of Thomas's greatest qualities, which also is one of his worst qualities, because once he gets fixated on something and making something happen, it becomes almost obsessive. But also, some of the greatest people on the history of the planet. I mean, Michael Jordan was extremely obsessive about
Michael
what
Jackson
he did.
was obsessive. They're all the best, the greats.
The greatest of the greats are obsessive about what they do. And I think he's obsessive about his work as a fashion designer, which is why he's so good. He has a natural talent, but he obsesses about it and about creating a family for his child. I think that's there. I think
I'm going along with that. I'm going along with. I'm getting there. I'm going along with that. I get it. And then Tami, I'm feeling it. I feel it. I see it. I still didn't like what you did, but I see it. I totally see it. And everybody, and like you said in your post, everybody's black and white. There's all shades of gray in there.
Absolutely.
There are,
but to not make her have to give an answer right now, I do like that. There's the whole bee theme. I love the bee thing.
Oh, the
buzz.
buzz. Oh, yes. Oh, the bees. Oh, yes. Buzzing.
It's like a little bee and it's all bee colors. I like that. Buzz.
So the fans are just, I mean, they're like, some of the fans are talking about how you guys were raised as step-siblings, and then, but people are like, well, they weren't really raised that much together, and whatever, so that's fine. People talk about that. They love the chemistry between you and Annika, of course. The show.
Well, I love Annika.
Isn't she the best?
She's such a sweet person. You had her here.
Yeah, we had her. We love her.
You know her. So yeah. I mean, it's hard to not like her. And we got thrown together in the very beginning. Yeah. So I think it's easy making a connection, especially in scenes. She's a great actress, and it's easy to make those connections.
I love the picture of you and Scott Clifton on top of the roof afterwards. Like, you're hugging each other about your bromance.
Talk about that.
Yeah.
Talk about that.
Yeah, get to be on a roof.
That was so much fun.
In LA, you get to
That was awesome. That was so much fun. And I love Scott.
Did you do your own stunts?
The guy in you, I'm sure.
Yeah. We know.
We did. Yeah. So we have stunt guys. And they came. They had like a stunt coordinator and 2 stunt guys, one for each of us. And basically, I mean, it was normally when I've done stunts before, it's like sometimes you'll have an entire day dedicated to prepping it. Like, we're gonna have this little fight sequence or whatever.
Choreographic.
Yeah, exactly. And me and Scott had about 15 minutes that day to run out there and see the stunt guys and go, what are we doing? They ran us through what the fight was, this, that, and the other, and we're like, okay, so we're gonna do this, and we tried to work out how this would work and making it happen. And then we ran back. I mean, we were both shooting, I don't know how many scenes that day.
I was saying, besides you had to learn your lines and all this stuff, and then you're learning a choreograph scene.
Yeah, and we had to choreograph this fight scene in like literally 15 minutes on our lunch break, so we didn't even get to eat. It was crazy. It was running and gunning all day, and then when we got to shoot, man, that was so much fun. Of course, I love Scott. Yeah. And we have so much fun together when we're on set, regardless of what the scene is, because I love giving him crap.
Yes.
And I think he loves doing the same thing and joking around. And so, like, all we're doing is goofing around until they say action, and then we shoot a scene where we hate each other, and then they yell cut, and then we make fun of each other.
Yeah, right, exactly.
So it's so much fun shooting together. But I think we were both just as excited as one another for going out there and being able to do this, because it's so much fun. And then we shot on the roof of the building, our actual studio, for that end sequence. That was a blast. It got us out of the normal day-to-day routine.
But I would say, for us fans, we like that Bold and Beautiful actually does exterior shots.
Yeah.
Outside, and they're believable.
Yeah.
They're very believable. So it's get you something outside. Get you outside.
Yeah. Sometimes it's hard. It's hard to go from it's very, I don't know, say sterile, but it's a very unique environment where these characters live, and it's believable in that environment. But then when you throw them in the real world, you go, oh, wait a minute, it's almost like you're taking away the fourth wall or something. Yeah. And I feel like for some reason it transitions over on our show, and you're able to see that. It's
I like it. Yeah. I don't want to end. We can talk to you forever. And I went.
Oh yeah, we're almost. Jeez.
I didn't think I fast.
What were we supposed to talk about?
I know.
Did we have a list?
I did have a look. We covered most of this stuff anyway.
Okay.
But the thing is, I mean, so Tami, did he win you over at all? As we're coming to
that was my objective.
Exactly, that's objective. So did he win you over at all? Thomas at all? I know as a person you like him, but as Thomas, no.
It's going to take time. It's going to take a lot of time.
Okay. So he's still got some.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Just because, and this is going back to Thomas's point, the obsession, being the strong suit because it gets his objectives accomplished.
Right.
But at the same time, it's at someone else gets hurt in the process.
Oh, yeah.
Of your goals.
Yeah.
Hope was, the multitudes of people were devastated because of your laser focus.
Yeah, no, I agree.
So Thomas, it's gonna take time.
I agree. I agree with you. He should not be immediately redeemed. I don't think he should be redeemed
and
right
I'm
now.
sure he's not. And this is what we're looking forward to.
There's definitely some stuff coming, and she's probably not gonna like me.
Quickly, we have a present for you. What is this? Open a present for you from us here at Bold Breakdown. We may have lost hope on the show, but
I feel something. Whoa! What is that? What is this?
But you will always have hope. You will always
have hope.
That's from us. You will always have hope.
That's so sweet. Thank you.
Yeah, that's for you. So you will always have hope.
There's hope for Thomas Forrester.
Yes.
In your eyes, right? Maybe not.
There's hope right here.
There's
Right
hope.
here.
There's hope right in front of us.
Right
It's right there.
Yeah, just take it. Grab it.
God, I
It's
love it.
yours.
Okay, Matthew. Thanks for being on the show.
Oh my gosh.
Thanks for having
Thank
me.
you
Get to
so
come back.
much.
Come back. Have to come back.
Please.
Maybe have you and Annika come on at the same time.
Oh, that'd be
At the same
fun.
time. That'd be fun. Get someone to come at the same time. So tell people that over there where they can find you.
Hey, you can find me on Instagram at J Matt Atkinson, and pretty much any forum. You just look up Matthew Atkinson, you'll find me. But
He's there.
J Matt Atkinson, Instagram. That's where I'm mostly trying to post stuff now. I'm bad at social media, but I'm trying.
That's right.
Yeah.
And Tami Goveia?
Oh, you can find me on Twitter at Tami Goveia and Insta Tami.Goveia.
Yeah.
And
where can we find you?
You can find me where all James Lott Jr.'s are sold on the social media platforms. James Lott Jr. everywhere, you guys, everywhere. And the Bold Breakdown, it's on Bold Breakdown IG and Twitter. We will see you in about a month. See you next time.
Ciao.
See ya.
From producers Maria Menounos, Keven Undergaro, and the entire Popcorn Talk Network, we would like to thank you for tuning in. For questions or comments, be sure to visit popcorntalk.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of the Popcorn Talk Network.
Herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owner.
Our founder, Keven Undergaro, and me, Maria Menounos, would like to thank you for tuning in to AfterBuzz TV. Remember, we're not just the first, we're the biggest in the world, and we're the only destination for all your favorite TV shows. Whatever you crave, we've got it. So go to AfterBuzzTV.com and check out our lineup. Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.